Forget what you thought you knew about air power. For 5 long years, the United States has been flying a Ghost, a weapon system so revolutionary, so far ahead of the curve, it makes every rival air force on the planet instantly obsolete. China and Russia have just been handed their worst nightmare. The US just detonated a technological bombshell that signals a new, undeniable era of American air superiority. This is the F-47. And it has already won the next war before the enemy even sees it coming. Prepare to have your mind blown. The Pentagon just pulled back the curtain on something nobody saw coming, a fighter jet that commands its own fleet of drones, a machine so stealthy it vanishes from radar like smoke in the wind. And here's the kicker, it's already been flying in secret for 5 years. While our rivals scramble to catch up, America just changed the rules of air combat forever. The F-47 isn't just another fighter. It's a game changer that makes everything China's been building look like yesterday's news. And what you're about to discover will blow your mind. Welcome to Frontline. This is where we break down the most advanced military technology on the planet. And today, we're diving into something absolutely extraordinary. The F-47 NG isn't just the next generation of air superiority. It's a complete revolution in how America fights and wins in the skies. By the time we're done here, you'll understand exactly why this aircraft has our adversaries worried sick and why our men and women in uniform are about to get the most lethal tool ever created. If you agree, type "proud" in the comments below. The secret nobody knew. March 21st, 2025. President Trump stands in the Oval Office with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Air Force Chief of Staff General David Alvin. What happened next sent shockwaves through military communities worldwide. Trump announced Boeing won the contract to build America's first, 6th-generation fighter. After a rigorous and thorough competition between some of America's top aerospace companies, the Air Force is going to be awarding the contract for the next-generation air dominance platform to Boeing. And then he dropped a bombshell that left everyone stunned. The experimental version had been flying in secret for almost 5 years. An experimental version of the plane has secretly been flying for almost 5 years. Think about that. While military analysts debated whether 6th-generation technology was even possible, our Air Force was already testing it. While other nations were still drawing blueprints, American pilots were pushing this beast through the stratosphere. The $20 billion engineering and manufacturing contract went to Boeing. But the real story runs much deeper. The program was paused in 2024. Costs were skyrocketing. Some officials questioned whether we even needed it. But here's what most people don't understand. That pause wasn't hesitation. It was strategic thinking at the highest level. The Air Force conducted an internal study, examining every possible alternative. They tested different concepts, ran countless simulations, and analyzed every option imaginable. The conclusion? Nothing else came close. Major General Joseph Guastella put it bluntly at the Air and Space Forces Association Warfare Symposium. They tried every alternative, and NGAD was the only viable option to achieve air superiority in highly contested environments. Translation: without the F-47, America's dominance in the air would be at risk. And that's something our military would never allow. The F-47 designation itself tells a story. Sure, it honors the legendary P-47 Thunderbolt that dominated World War II skies. But it also recognizes the Air Force's founding year of 1947 and acknowledges the 47th President's crucial support. This isn't just a fighter jet. It's a statement about American resolve and technological superiority. Boeing's St. Louis facility has been transformed for this mission. Over $1 billion invested in manufacturing infrastructure by September 2025. The first airframes were already being built. The goal: first flight in 2028, operational capability by 2029, and full deployment in the early 2030s. That's not decades away. That's right around the corner. What makes it unstoppable? Now, let's talk about what makes this machine absolutely lethal. The F-47 will fly faster than Mach 2. That's over 1,500 miles per hour. But speed is just the beginning. The combat radius exceeds 1,000 nautical miles. Compare that to our current fighters. The F-47 flies roughly 70% farther without refueling. In a Pacific confrontation where distances are massive and tankers need to stay safe, that extra range is a complete game changer. Before we dive deeper, please take a second to like this video and subscribe. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it means a lot to us. Stealth technology on the F-47 goes beyond anything we've seen. Current fifth-generation fighters like the F-22 and F-35 are incredibly stealthy. But the F-47 takes it to another level entirely. We're talking about all-aspect broadband, low observability. That means it's nearly invisible from every angle, not just from the front. The infrared signature is reduced by 70% compared to existing platforms. Radar systems that can detect other aircraft simply won't see this coming. The design itself is radical. Based on what's been shown, it appears to have a tailless configuration with a diamond delta wing shape. Those serpentine inlets hide the engine faces from radar. Variable geometry elements allow seamless supercruise sustained supersonic flight without afterburners. That means less fuel consumption and a much smaller infrared plume that enemy sensors can detect. Under the skin, the technology gets even more impressive. The aircraft features a distributed aperture system with 360-degree coverage using advanced gallium nitride AESA arrays. These sensors can detect threats over 500 nautical miles away, 10 times the range of current systems. Everything is fused together through artificial intelligence that processes information faster than any human pilot could manage alone. The weapons bay can carry hypersonic missiles or precision-guided munitions. The AI system optimizes loadouts during flight, prioritizing targets and coordinating strikes across multiple platforms. When the F-47 enters a combat zone, it doesn't just fight. It orchestrates the entire battle space. The drone army. But here's where things get really interesting. The F-47 doesn't fly alone. Each F-47 acts as a command node for up to 6 collaborative combat aircraft, CCA. These aren't simple drones. They're advanced unmanned fighters that extend the F-47's reach by hundreds of miles and multiply its combat power by 300%. Picture the battlefield of tomorrow. An F-47 enters contested airspace, flying deep into enemy territory. But it's not exposed. 6 loyal wingman drones fly ahead, around, and behind it. These CCAs gather intelligence, detect threats, and can engage targets on their own or under the pilot's direction. If enemy air defenses fire on the formation, the drones can take the hit, protecting the manned aircraft and its pilot. The AI interface allows conversational tasking. A pilot can literally say, "Neutralize SAMs in Sector 7, and the drones understand and execute. They coordinate with each other, share sensor data, and adapt to changing situations in real time. The result is a fighting force that's smarter, faster, and more lethal than anything our adversaries can field. This concept fundamentally changes air warfare. Traditional fighters engage one target at a time. The F-47 and its drone fleet can engage multiple targets simultaneously across vast distances. Enemy air defenses designed to stop individual aircraft suddenly face overwhelming force from multiple directions at once. And here's the crucial part. The drones are relatively inexpensive compared to manned fighters. If one gets shot down, it's a loss, but not a tragedy. The pilot in the F-47 stays safe, continues the mission, and the drone can be replaced. This gives American commanders flexibility that simply didn't exist before. The open mission systems architecture means the F-47 can be upgraded rapidly as new technologies emerge. Software updates can add capabilities without redesigning the entire aircraft. That adaptability ensures the F-47 stays ahead of evolving threats for decades to come. General Alvin stated it clearly. The F-47 will cost less than the F-22, be acquired in larger numbers, and takes significantly less manpower and infrastructure to deploy. It's more capable, more flexible, and more sustainable than any fighter that came before it. The Air Force plans to buy at least 185 of these aircraft, replacing the aging F-22 fleet and securing American air superiority well into the future. The China factor. Now, about that claim in the title. Is China's air defense really obsolete? Let's be clear. China has been working hard to build advanced military capabilities. On December 26, 2024, they surprised the world by publicly flying two new sixth-generation prototypes, the J-36 and the J-50. These aircraft represent serious engineering achievement. The J-36 features a tailless flying wing design powered by 3 engines. It's large, stealthy, and clearly designed for long-range operations. But here's where the comparison gets interesting. China flew prototypes. America has been secretly flying test aircraft for 5 years and is already building production models. While China reveals concepts, the U.S. is manufacturing operational fighters. The maturity gap is enormous. The J-36 appears optimized for certain missions, possibly as a command platform for Chinese drones or a long-range striker. But analysts note it may sacrifice maneuverability for stealth and range. The tailless design creates control challenges that American engineers solved years ago through advanced flight control systems. More importantly, the entire ecosystem matters. The F-47 isn't just one aircraft. It's the centerpiece of a family of systems, including next-generation engines, advanced weapons, cutting-edge electronic warfare capabilities, and those loyal wingman drones. China is still developing many of these supporting technologies. Their supply chains for advanced components face vulnerabilities. Their testing infrastructure doesn't match American facilities, and their operational experience with fifth-generation fighters remains limited compared to the thousands of flight hours American pilots have logged in. F-22 seconds and F-35 seconds. When Air Force officials talk about spectral warfare and spectral dominance, they're describing something revolutionary. The F-47 can see across the electromagnetic spectrum in ways current aircraft cannot. It can jam enemy systems, spoof their sensors, and create electronic denial bubbles that blind adversary networks. This isn't just about being stealthy. It's about controlling the information environment and making enemy air defenses useless. Chinese air defense systems, like the S-400 derivatives, are formidable against current aircraft. But they were designed to counter threats that radiate detectable signatures. The F-47's combination of extreme stealth, electronic warfare, and drone support overwhelms those systems. By the time Chinese radars detect anything, the F-47 and its wingmen have already completed their mission and disappeared. That's not arrogance. That's engineering reality, backed by 5 years of classified testing and decades of American aerospace dominance. General Alvin didn't mince words when asked about China's claims. He stated flatly that the F-47 is truly the world's first crewed sixth-generation fighter, built to dominate the most capable peer adversary in the most perilous threat environments imaginable. While Chinese prototypes fly test patterns, the F-47 program is ready to deliver operational capability to warfighters. What this means for America. For our veterans and those who support our military, the F-47 represents something profound. It's proof that America still leads the world in innovation and technological superiority. Despite budget debates and political disagreements, our nation continues to invest in the tools our service members need to succeed. The men and women who will fly the F-47 will have the most advanced, most capable fighter ever created. They'll go into combat with advantages their adversaries simply cannot match. And that's exactly how it should be. American pilots deserve the best equipment, the best training, and the best support we can provide. This program also revitalizes American manufacturing. Boeing's St. Louis facility is hiring, training, and building. Thousands of high-skilled jobs support the F-47 program. Suppliers across the country contribute components and systems. The investment in sixth-generation technology creates economic benefits that extend far beyond the military. And for our community of military enthusiasts and supporters, this is the kind of positive story that deserves celebration. While headlines often focus on problems, the F-47 program shows American innovation at its finest. It demonstrates what happens when brilliant engineers, dedicated military professionals, and strategic leadership work together toward a common goal. The timeline is aggressive but achievable. First flight in 2028 means we're just 3 years away from seeing this beast in the sky. Operational capability by 2029 puts these fighters in the hands of combat units before the end of the decade. And full deployment in the early 2030s ensures America maintains air superiority throughout the most challenging period of global competition. President Trump mentioned that allies are constantly calling about acquiring the F-47. Unlike the F-22, which was never approved for export due to its sensitive technology, there's discussion of export variants that could strengthen alliances with nations like Japan, Australia, and others who face similar threats. A coalition of partners flying sixth-generation technology would create an overwhelming advantage across the Indo-Pacific and beyond. The investment isn't just about one aircraft. It's about maintaining a credible deterrent that prevents conflict in the first place. When adversaries know they cannot win in the air, they're far less likely to start a fight. Peace through strength isn't just a slogan. It's a proven strategy that's kept America safe for generations. Conclusion. So, where does all this leave us? The F-47 NGAD is real. It's happening. And it's more advanced than most people imagined. The autonomous capabilities aren't about removing pilots from the cockpit. They're about multiplying American combat power through drone wingmen that extend reach and increase lethality. The stealth technology isn't just an improvement. It's a generational leap that renders many existing air defenses ineffective. China has made progress. No question about it. But progress isn't the same as parity. While they're flying prototypes and developing concepts, America is building production aircraft with mature technology that's been tested in secret for years. The F-47 program demonstrates exactly why the United States Air Force remains the most powerful air combat force on Earth. Our adversaries will continue trying to catch up. They'll invest billions, copy what they can, and push their engineers to the limit. But they're chasing a target that keeps moving forward. By the time China fields operational sixth-generation fighters, America will already be working on what comes next. That's the reality of technological competition. Those who lead stay ahead, and those who follow struggle to close the gap. For everyone watching who loves this country and supports our military, the F-47 is something to be genuinely proud of. It represents American ingenuity, engineering excellence, and an unwavering commitment to defending freedom. The men and women who will fly these aircraft into harm's way deserve our respect and support. And programs like this ensure they have every possible advantage when they answer the call. The skies belong to America. The F-47 NGAD makes sure they stay that way for generations to come. If this story got you fired up about American military technology, hit that like button and subscribe to Frontline for more content just like this. We bring you the latest on military innovation, technological breakthroughs, and the stories that matter to those who support our armed forces. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on the F-47. And as always, God bless our troops, and God bless America.